Good morning, and we are in chapter 53, and we're going to get right into it. We've got two chapters we're going to do today, and I think there's some really good stuff in this. And it came to pass, okay, just remember they just obtained the city of Mulek by drawing out the army of Jacob's army, and Jacob was quite a proud Zoramite that fought to the end until he died, and then they captured all these people, and they captured a big army. It was one of the strongest holds that they had, Mulek, probably because of where it was located, and now they've got these people that they have to, the prisoners, they have to take care of somehow. And when you're reading these chapters, I think it's very important that we look at, one, how they treat or they go about in their wars and things. It continually says how Moroni's, by his stratagem, saves lives. So in that battle it says that there's more soldiers taken than had died on both sides of the conflict. And we'll see in the next couple of chapters how he is able to do things without any buddy dying, and we saw that in earlier on when 1,000 Lamanites were slain, but no Nephites were slain, and that wasn't because they wanted to slay the Lamanites, but it was that, hey, he was protecting lives, and the first lives that he can protect is the Nephites. The second lives is those of his enemies, and we'll see that throughout this book. Anyway, as we go on, where were we? Oh yeah, and it came to pass that they set guards over the prisoners of the Lamanites, and did compel them to go forth and bury their dead, and also the dead of the Nephites who were slain. And Moroni placed men over them to guard them while they should perform their labors. And Moroni went to the city of Mulek with Lehi, and took command of the city, and gave it unto Lehi. Now behold, this Lehi was a man who had been with Moroni for the more part of his battles, and he was a man like unto Moroni, which we read about last week. And they rejoiced in each other's safeties. I love the little verses here that they put in here. This is important. This is what he wants you to get, not just about the battles. He's doing that so you can understand who these people are. Not because he's going, yeah, look at the wonderful battles. He's saying, look at the people who ran these battles, and what were they like? What were they like on both sides of the conflict? And they rejoiced in each other's safety. Yea, they were beloved by each other, and also beloved by all the people of Nephi. These people were really, really rock stars, you might say. People loved them, and they'd done so much, even in times of peace, for the people. And it came to pass that after the Lamanites had finished burying their dead, and also the dead of the Nephites, they were marched back to the land of Bountiful. And Teancum, by the orders of Moroni, caused that they should commence laboring in digging a ditch around about the land or city of Bountiful. I love the way they keep them busy, and that's been something that has happened over time as well, is use those prisoners to fortify things, and they basically make their own prison. Which is interesting, but it also, well, let's read and see what happens with the city Bountiful. And he caused that they should build the breastwork of timbers upon the inner bank of the ditch, and they cast dirt out of the ditch against the breastwork of the timbers, and thus they did cause the Lamanites to labor um, uh, until they had encircled the city of Bountiful round about with a strong wall of timbers and earth to an exceeding height. And this city became exceedingly strong, an exceeding stronghold ever after. And in this city they did guard their prisoners of the Lamanites, even within a wall which they had caused them to build with their own hands. It just seems like irony there, doesn't it? Now Moroni was compelled to cause the Lamanites to labor because it is easy to guard them while at their labor, and he desired all his forces when they should make an attack upon the Lamanites. And it came to pass that Moroni had thus gained a victory over one of the greatest armies of the Lamanites, and had obtained possession of the city of Mulek, which was one of the strongest holds of the Lamanites in the land of Nephi. And thus he also built a stronghold to retain his prisoners. And it came to pass that he did no more attempt a battle with the Lamanites in that year, but he did employ his men in preparing for war, yea, in making fortifications to guard against the Lamanites, yea, also delivering their women and their children from famine and affliction, and providing food for their armies. So he's thinking, we've got to take some time. We've got to prepare fields and get some grain and get some livestock going. All these things because of the afflictions of these people. And now it came to pass that the armies of the Lamanites on the west sea south, while in the absence of Moroni, on account, now we don't have what happened here, but this is important that he put this in here, on account of some intrigue among the Nephites, which caused dissensions amongst them, had gained some ground over the Nephites, yea, insomuch that they had obtained possession of a number of their cities in that part of land. So they have cities on the east, they have cities on the south, and they have cities on the west. So if Amalickiah had been able to obtain what he wanted and go up and around to the north, they would have totally surrounded the Nephites and been able to push them in on all sides. And this is what Moroni was trying to fight against. And so we have a very scary situation, though, that on three sides they've got armies all around them. And thus, because of iniquity amongst themselves, because of dissensions and intrigue among themselves, they were placed in a most dangerous circumstance. Every single time it's because of the iniquity and the dissensions that these things happen. You know, when they were righteous, if an army came in, they were prepared. Remember, a couple of chapters ago, they tried to come in, they tried to take the land of Moniha, I believe, and they were repelled with no lives lost on our side. But now they're taking city after city with the same protection on them, but because of the iniquity and the intrigue and the dissensions, they're falling apart. You can only have so much protection, but if you cannot have that unity in faith and love, then you lose that protection. You can have all the things around you, but without that unity of faith and love, and with just dissensions, you lose those things so easily. Now behold, I have somewhat to say concerning the people of Ammon, who in the beginning were Lamanites, But by Ammon and his brethren, or rather by the power and word of God, they had been converted unto the Lord, and they had been brought down unto the land of Zarahemla, and had ever since been protected by the Nephites. And because of their oath, they had been kept from taking up arms against their brethren, and for they had taken an oath that they never would shed blood more, and according to their oath they would have perished, yea, they would have suffered themselves to have fallen into the hands of the brethren, had it not been for the pity of exceeding and the exceeding love which Ammon and his brethren had for them. For this cause they were brought down to the land of Zarahemla, and they had ever been protected by the Nephites. But it came to pass, when they saw the danger and the many afflictions and tribulations which the Nephites bore for them, they were moved with compassion, and were desirous to take up arms in defense of their country. See why they wanted to go to fight. It wasn't because they hated the brethren, the Lamanites that had done so much destruction. It was to protect those that they loved. Behold, as they were about to take their weapons of war, they were overpowered by the persuasions of Helaman and his brethren, for they were about to break the oath which they had made. Break the oath which they had made to God. And Helaman feared lest by so doing they would lose their souls. Therefore all those who had entered into this covenant, notice I'm marking covenant and oath a lot in here, because I talk about that. This is most important about why the fathers could not take up arms, but the children could take up arms and still both be righteous and right. Were compelled, behold, their brethren were compelled to behold their brethren wade through their afflictions in their dangerous circumstances. It's got to be hard when you just feel like you want to do something. Behold, it came to pass that they had many sons who had not entered into a covenant, that they would not take their weapons of war to defend themselves against their enemies. Therefore they did assemble themselves together at this time, as many as were able to take up arms. They called themselves Nephites. And they entered into a covenant, so they've got a covenant now. And remember, calling themselves Nephites, there is a covenant the Nephites have. Remember the title of liberty? That was a covenant. And now they are hoisting the title of liberty themselves, and they entered into a covenant to fight for the liberty of the Nephites, yea, to protect the land unto the laying down of their lives. Yea, even they covenanted that they would never give up their liberty, but they would fight in all cases to protect the Nephites and themselves from bondage. So they're using that same thing. The title of liberty is their covenant to God as well. Now behold, there was 2,000 of these young men who entered into the covenant, and they took their weapons of war and to defend their country. Now behold, as they never had hitherto been a disadvantage to the Nephites, they become now, at this period of time, a great support. For they took their weapons of war, and they would that Helaman should be their leader, and they all were young men, and they were exceeding valiant for courage, and also for strength and activity. But behold, this was not all. They were men who were true at all times in whatsoever they were entrusted. Yea, they were men of truth. Notice I've put this in green, because this is something that we should be in our own lives. Truth and soberness, for they had been taught to keep the commandments of God, and to walk uprightly before him. Now it came to pass that Helaman did march at the head of his 2,000 stripling soldiers to the support of the people in the borders of the land, in the south, on the south by the West Sea. So they're doing the southwest part. Thus ended the 28th year of the reign of the judges over the people of Nephi. We've got a lot more, so keep holding on. Chapter 54, and now it came to pass that in the commencement of the 29th year of the reign of the judges over, that Amram sent unto Moroni, desiring that he would exchange prisoners. And it came to pass that Moroni felt to rejoice exceedingly at this request. Yes, he's getting what he needs, and that's why he kept the prisoners, remember? For he desired to the provisions which were imparted to support the Lamanite prisoners for the support of his own people, and he also desired his own people for the strengthening of his army. Now the Lamanites had taken many women and children, and there was not a woman or a child among the prisoners of Moroni, and the prisoners whom Moroni had taken. Therefore Moroni resolved upon a stratagem to obtain as many prisoners from of the Nephites from the Lamanites as it were possible. Therefore he wrote an epistle and sent it to the by the servant of Amram, the same who brought the epistle to Moroni. Now these are the words which he wrote unto Amram. Now think about receiving a letter like this. So Moroni doesn't pull any punches here. He lets him know exactly what he thinks. Behold, Amram, I have written unto you somewhat concerning this war, which ye have waged against my people, or rather, which thy brother hath waged against them, and which ye are still determined to carry on after his death. Behold, I will tell you somewhat concerning the justice of God, and this I would tell you somewhat concerning the justice of God and the sword of his almighty wrath, which doth hang over you, except ye repent and withdraw your armies unto your own lands, or the land of your possessions, which is the land of Nephi. Yea, I would tell you these things, if ye were capable of hearkening unto them. Yea, I would tell you concerning that awful hell which awaits to receive such murderers as thou and thy brother have been, except ye repent and withdraw your murderous purposes, and return with your armies to your own lands. I kind of find it that he's kind of provoking him. Do you think he really is going to get what he wants if he's going to provoke him like this? I don't know. But as ye have once rejected these things, and have fought against the people of the Lord, even so I may expect ye will do it again. Now behold, we are prepared to receive you, and yea, and except you withdraw your purposes, ye will pull down the wrath of God upon you, wrath of God whom you have rejected, even to your destruction. But as the Lord liveth, our armies shall come upon you, except ye withdraw, and ye shall soon be visited with death. For we will retain our cities, our lands, yea, and will maintain our religion and cause of our God. Again, going back to the core principles of why they're doing this. But behold, it supposeth me that I talk to you concerning these things in vain, for it supposeth me that thou art a child of the devil. Therefore I close my epistle by telling you that I will not exchange prisoners, save it be on condition that ye will deliver up a man and his wife and his children for one prisoner. For this, if this be the case, ye will that ye will do it, I will exchange. And behold, if ye do not this, I will come against you with my armies. Yea, even I will arm my women and my children, and I will come against you, and I will follow you even into your own land, which is the land of our first inheritance. He brings this up. And it shall be the blood for blood, even life for life, and I will give you battle even until you are destroyed from off the face of the earth. Behold, I am in my anger, and also my people, for ye have sought to murder us, and we have only sought to defend ourselves. But behold, if ye seek to destroy us more, we will seek to destroy you. Yea, we will seek our land and the land of our first inheritance. He's basically saying, you've had the land of Nephi for quite a few generations now, but it was our land first. And if that's the way it's going to be, we'll seek it back. We've never sought it. We've never tried, well, by force anyway, to take this land. And now I close my epistle. I am Moroni. I am the leader of the people of the Nephites. Now it came to pass that when Amram had received this epistle, he was angry. I think so. Sorry, Moroni, but you didn't exactly make him feel like he's warm fuzzies in there in what you wrote. And he wrote another epistle to Moroni. This is sort of like texting today, I guess. Could you imagine this in one of the many forums that we have nowadays? Somebody sending this to Facebook or something like that. Yeah, well, you did this. Well, I did this. Okay. Anyway, and these are the words which he wrote, saying, I am Amram, the king of the Lamanites. Now see how he establishes himself. All these gray areas, this is him showing the propaganda that they taught the Lamanites. I am the brother of Amalickiah, whom ye have murdered. Wait a minute. Do you really know what you're... who's the murderer here? Anyway, yes, he died and he was murdered, I guess, but it was in war that he started. Behold, I will avenge his blood upon you. Yea, I will come upon you with my armies, and I fear not your threatenings. For behold, your fathers did wrong their brethren, insomuch that they did rob them from their right to government, when it rightly belonged to them. See how he's twisting it? He's going back and saying, oh, Laman and Lemuel should have been the governors of this land, and so these people should govern you. Or the kings of the land, I should say. Now behold, if ye will lay down your arms, and subject yourselves to be governed by those whom the government doth rightly belong, then will I cause my people shall lay down their weapons, and shall be at war no more. Behold, ye have breathed out many threatenings against me and my people, but behold, we fear not your threatenings. Nevertheless, I will grant to exchange prisoners according to your request, gladly, that I may preserve my food for my men of war, and we will wage a war which shall be eternal, either to the subjecting of the Nephites to their authority, or their eternal extinction. As concerning that God whom ye say ye have rejected, behold, we know not such a being, neither do ye. But if it so be that there is such a being, we know not that he hath made us as well as you. Notice how he just twists everything a little bit. If it so be that there is a devil in hell, behold, will he not send you there, and to dwell with my brother whom ye have murdered, whom ye have hinted hath gone in such a place? But behold, these things matter not. I am Amram, and a descendant of Zoram, whom your fathers had pressed and brought out of Jerusalem. Look closer at the scriptures, Amram. You'll see that Zoram was very willing to go with them. Yes, he had to go at the beginning, but he made a covenant, and he was a great friend to Nephi, not pressed and enslaved or anything like that. Behold, now I am a bold Lamanite. Behold, this war hath been waged to avenge their wrongs, which they didn't really have any wrongs until you told them they had wrongs, and to maintain and obtain their rights of government. I close my epistle to Moroni. Wow, I wonder how Moroni is going to react to that, and we're going to find out tomorrow. So I hope you have a wonderful day, and don't text angry, okay? And we'll see you tomorrow.